Coming up, a Sad Styles production.
Get into it.
If there were one Simpsons character you could punch in the face, who would it be and why?
Ooh, which character would I punch in the face?
Because you can do that in this game.
No, really?
No, you can-
Is this
you
like straight up violence?
You can straight up cold clock someone.
Whoa,
Yeah, yeah.
my God. Who would I want to punch in the Simpsons universe?
Andrew, that's what I just asked you.
I'm just reminding the listener.
Okay. Yeah, they do have a short attention span.
Yeah. You know what? I think I would punch, the Reverend Lovejoy's wife.
What?
Yeah.
Explain.
She's bad for the city. She wants to shut down the sex cauldron. She's always like, think of the children and just like horrifyingly outdated like ideas of what society should do. And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? Hey, come here, lady.
That's not bad.
I'm
I was
knocking
going to
lights
go
out.
with someone like Jimbo because I think he deserves it.
You gonna punch a child?
I've done it before. I'll do it again.
Santa's little helper deserves a little smack. What else could be offensive that we could say? And welcome to the Retrograde
Podcast where we remind you what you used to love and whether or not you still should.
I'm Andrew Bascom, and with me, as always, is the bad boy of podcasting, Mr. Bebop himself.
Mikey Evergreen Terranworth.
Oh, it's so good. That is so good. That, of course, is Mikey Aaronworth, and we are back for another week of the Retrograde Podcast.
Back at it again, Andrew. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, I appreciate that.
I like to make sure you feel welcome in the recording studio.
Right.
Because I know you're real nervous most of the time, self-conscious.
Sounds like me.
It sounds a lot like you. Not like me at all. I'm not like that.
You know how you're always reflecting your emotions onto other people?
Oh.
I don't think I am.
that
Wait
at
a
all.
second. What?
Listen, if you have your phone in your hand and you saw the title of this week's episode,
Okay.
you know we're in the last week of September.
Oh, yeah.
And
right.
what a week it has been.
What a week it's been.
It's been a great month.
It's been a great month. And
That's-
why has it been a great month, Mikey?
Because all we've been doing is focusing on Simpsons-themed video games.
Yes, we have.
So some of the weeks have been great. Some of them haven't been so great in terms of the games that we're playing, because apparently our listeners really like to, like the yellow bastard in Sin City? How
Yeah.
you can't come unless someone's crying?
Yeah.
That's like our listener, I think.
Man, this is a good trend we keep doing. Within the first 5 minutes, we tell something that is truly deplorable for anyone new.
Hey, I didn't make Sin City.
Frank Miller did?
Frank Miller did.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's a movie that no one talks about anymore, huh?
Did you like it when it first came out?
I think it was one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this, even though it looked so.
It did.
Like,
Yeah.
it just burns in your brain, that like clear thought of like,
Yes.
especially the Elijah Wood character with the reflection on the glasses and stuff like that.
and the yellow bastard, whatever his name
Yeah.
was, who was he was yellow in the movie.
Oh,
and I
right.
knew that because everything else was black and white.
Right. And that's, of course, how we're going to get to The Simpsons, Simptember.
He was like a Simpsons character.
Yeah,
That's
he
true.
was.
Well, listen, if you're new to this podcast, first of all, welcome.
Hey.
Secondly, typically what we like to do on the podcast is take a look back at the games that we used to play when we were
games,
kids.
yeah.
Usually it's something that had an effect on us one way or another, or something we remember fondly or terribly.
Yeah.
We rate and review the game as we remember it back when we played it. Then we take a little bit of a break. We play the game, play you some of that audio or the video if you're watching on YouTube. And then we come back and rate and review the game as it stands up in the modern day against like some modern games.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we always take a swift left turn. And this month, and it's been down Evergreen Terrace.
I was
going to
say
about Simpsons.
I'd also do like, maybe I'll hit something and then run away from them. You know what I mean?
Andrew.
Come on.
I'm going to call Chief Wiggum on you.
Oh, yeah. Bake them away, toys. So, yeah, we're going to take that swift left turn. Mikey, you and I have not recorded in a little bit, and I know you've been, biting at the chomp. Isn't that a thing?
Did you make fun of Wiggum for saying bake 'em away toys?
Yeah,
and you
and then
said biting at the chomp?
you know what? I was thinking in my head, I'm like, bite him. I'm like, just go with it. Just let it fly.
Biting
Just let
at
it
the
fly.
chomp.
What is it?
Just chomping at the bit.
Chomping at the bit.
Yeah,
Of
biting at the
course.
chomp. Huh?
Of course.
Oh, biting at the chomp sounds like we were close there.
You thought I said something else.
I did.
We're talking around this issue
We're
right
talking
now.
around it because editing is so much harder now with video. So we're purposely not putting horse gas in it.
Horses!
Ride like the wind, bullseye.
You're a good podcast.
Nay.
Oh God, it was on the tip of our horse-like tongues.
Urethras.
Yeah. Mikey, there is so much you want to talk about. I know this because I've been following you at Retrograde Mikey.
Yes.
And
On
I've been
Twitter.
following it from this account at Retrograde Andy.
Yes.
And there is so much you want to talk about. What do you want to lay on us first? What I'm a D-pad right now. What do you want to tell me about?
Listen, last week I talked about how I was playing Death's Door and loving it.
Oh, that's great,
and
man.
how I made a commitment to finish Death's Door.
Yeah,
because
you did.
Hashtag Mikey doesn't finish. I know.
yeah.
I understand.
Hashtag Mikey doesn't finish.
It takes me a long time to finish video games. I start them so well and easily. But this week,
Oh God.
I had to. I didn't have a choice in the matter.
You started another game.
I had to because I know Death's Door's out and I
Right.
was loving it. But there was another game
Yeah.
that includes the word death in it that just came out, and I forgot it was coming out so soon. So I put Death's Door on the back burner,
Right.
and I'm playing Deathloop.
Deathloop.
Yes,
Oh man.
it's Arcane Studios, the company that did Dishonored.
Okay.
It's kind
A
of
game you like.
a game I really liked.
Yep.
The
Yep.
first Dishonored is one of my favorite first-person games of all time,
Mm-hmm.
like bar none. Loved it, and it was at a time when I had more patience for first-person games as well.
okay.
I think especially on the console,
The console.
consoles.
Yep.
I often shy away from them because since I've started to play Overwatch on my PC, it just like that registers way better for me.
Right.
Is playing with mouse and keyboard. So I was a little bit worried about picking up Deathloop, knowing that it was a first-person shooter. I know that it's going to be available if it isn't already available on PC.
Okay.
But I made the call, get it on PlayStation 5. I love my PlayStation 5. I love the controller, which I keep talking about. And it turns out playing this game with a controller is fantastic. It's a strange mix of genres. And the best thing I can do to explain it would be it's, you know, there's that song that's like, I'm a little bit country.
I'm a little bit rock and roll.
I'm not done.
Okay.
Okay, spoiler alert, Andrew. No, you sing the song. You sing this. You sing the whole song now.
I don't know the whole song.
Oh, then interesting, ain't that you would interrupt me when I was about to sing the whole song?
Okay, continue.
No, I won't, because you took over.
Coward.
But I could have if I wanted to.
Okay. We'll just all take your word for that.
Mikey-
And you're also going to finish this video game.
I was gonna say Mikey starts singing songs. Hashtag Mikey doesn't finish singing songs. So it's a little bit country.
Yeah.
And by that I mean it's a little bit Dishonored.
Oh.
But it's a little bit rock and roll. And by that I mean it's a little bit Hitman as well.
Whoa.
But it's also
The next line.
the next it is also the next line.
Another example why they're country.
Yeah. There's country, there's rock and roll.
Right.
There's rank.
What about a triple decker club sandwich? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now
Which
we're
is
in the
a good,
third.
a good trifecta.
Yeah.
So they are a little bit of a triple decker club sandwich. And that would be Majora's Mask, which is another
Whoa.
game that I'm in the middle of playing right now.
Middle. Yeah, okay.
playing. And then there's this element of like a roguelike to it.
Okay.
Where every time you've got the games as an example.
I've got all the
Now-
games as an
Now I'm going to
example.
talk you through what the game is like, and
Yeah,
you can
tell-
imagine how those different elements feed
Okay,
into it.
I was going to say, can you tell me what this game is about? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, so you play as a character. His name's Colt. He's really, really cool.
Sounds pretty cool.
I want to grab a beer with him. I think that he honestly would probably take to me a little bit as well.
Really?
Yeah, I think we would vibe. You
Why
know
is
what I mean?
that?
It's just that I have a lot to bring to the table too.
Okay.
I think he'd be like,
This is unrelated of Cole. This is more just about why you're a good guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
The game.
Cole wouldn't like me because of Colt. Cole would like me because I'm awesome.
Yes, exactly. The listener knows.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you're Colt, real cool guy.
Yeah.
And you start off where you're being murdered by someone.
Whoa.
Her name's Juliana, and she's hunting you, and you don't know why. All you know is that every time you die, you wake back up on a beach.
Okay.
And you come to realize that you are a part of this loop that keeps repeating itself.
Right.
It's one day, and this is taking place on an island on which everyone's trying to kill you, because as your memory starts to return to you, you are a person who was involved in setting up the island that would purposely repeat. That's by design, but you want to break the loop.
Okay.
And if you do so, everyone on the island has to now go back to living their regular day-to-day lives or die. That part isn't 100% clear.
Yep.
So everyone's trying to stop you from doing it, and you have to try to find a way to break the loop. So what you do is you live through a full day. There are 4 different quadrants of the map. You time doesn't pass when you're playing the game. It passes when you move from one quadrant to another. So there's morning. There's I think there's 4 stages of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 stages of the day, and you choose to spend each of them in one of the 4 different quadrants.
Okay.
And every time you move from one to the other, that's when time passes.
Okay.
Now, there are 8 visionaries. They're the people who decided to build the island and know how to do it. All you know, and this isn't too spoilery because this ends up being just the premise of the game.
Yeah.
The only way to break the loop is to kill all 4 of them in one day. So over the course of the day, but they're all in different parts of the map at different points in time. Every time you move from one to the other, there's 4 of them, four places in the map. You have to kill 8 people. So you have to find some ways to push them into the same place at the same time.
Right. And this is the hitman part of it.
This is the hitman part of it. And some of the things that you can do will have them kill themselves. Sometimes you can just.
Oh my God.
I mean, not like that. You're not like reading them bad.
Your
poetry.
wife is cheating on you. Yeah. Oh my God.
But, getting creative, because you like the Hitman franchise, right?
Yeah.
Like the creativity of understanding that there are certain things you can do to get someone into a circumstance that will develop their demise.
Yeah, 100%. It's like Mousetrap, the board game.
Yes.
Like, you like setting it all up. So and it happened like I thought it would.
Mousetrap, the board game that I played a ton of, but never actually knew the rules.
No, you don't actually play for the board game. You just set it up so you can do it, and then you feel really good about yourself.
Yeah. It's a Rube Goldberg game.
Chomping at the bit. Rube Goldberg.
Isn't it Goldbarb?
I think it's Gold. Oh, is it Goldbarb? What the hell's a Goldbarb?
Well, it's someone's name.
Yeah, Burbus Raisin in my mind.
So all in all, it's the really addicting thing of it. Like everyone loves a good loot shooter.
Yeah.
And I know we want to sing the song.
Yes, we do. It went immediately to my head.
Loot Shootin' Riot.
Yeah, Loot Shootin' Riot. Yeah.
By
the most horrifically named band of all time.
What is it?
Is that Brian Seltzer or is that the Cherry Poppin' Daddies?
Cherry Poppin' Daddies.
Yikes. How in the world did we let them go? Like, they showed up and went, "Who are you? We're the Cherry Poppin' Daddies." Yeah, we'll get you on stage. Yeah, we'll sign you to a multi-million-dollar.
It's okay. They're in a zoot suit. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly. The 50s were a different time, I think. I don't know what zoot suit's from. The 20s, 50s? I have no idea.
Ask Dick Tracy.
Okay.
He would know.
Yeah, he would know.
But there is this element of finding new weapons on different runs. Sometimes you do a run just to get a specific kind of weapon. You have these different things to infuse them with. So as you repeat each cycle, you lose all of your weapons and experience.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
But you have the ability to infuse some of them sometimes so that you have them on your next run. So you start to develop an arsenal. Your character naturally starts to get a bit stronger. You start to learn the patterns, so you get better as well. It's a really creative game. I'm absolutely bit by the bug.
Wow.
I've had it since, I first played it, I think, on Friday. We're recording this on a Monday. And I'd say I put at least 8 hours into it.
Wow.
Which is more than I
you.
can usually afford to do. I basically stayed in all night on Saturday and played it. But I do think, Andrew, you're much better at console first-person shooters than I am.
Thank you.
And you love games like Hitman. And I think, especially like it's notorious, the AI in this game is pretty bad. So you actually wouldn't have much issue with this game. Because I know you struggle with completing like simple tasks.
Yeah.
So
that's a real issue of mine. Yeah. I'm really proud I got dressed today.
Yeah.
And if you want to see that I'm dressed today, go over to YouTube.
YouTube.com/ I don't actually know what we
should really check that.
We should check that. But just go on YouTube and go to the Retrograde podcast.
Yeah.
You'll find us.
Lazy assholes.
Have you heard much about this game? It's getting like pretty crazy reviews.
I'd heard so much about it, and then I saw that you had purchased it, and then I was immediately disappointed and disheartened. And then I was like, good for him. He's probably going to enjoy it. I can't wait to try it. It sounds awesome. And I love when video games just try something different. There are so many games that are copies of other games, and we'll get to one a little bit later when we play Hit and Run.
Yes.
But it's just like there are so many of those things. Like, it works. Let's do 1,000 of these games. That if we're trying something different, you want to reward it by, and the best way you can reward it is with your own money, right?
I think it's worth checking out, even though this game, like, in order to describe it, I'm using like 3 other games, like similar games to kind of, but that's kind of what you do now. It does feel very unique in and of itself. But like right now, similar to what's happening in the movie industry, it's like all these games have been kind of like pushed off and all these movies had been pushed off until COVID
Right.
kind of, started to taper off or become whatever phase it is now. Wait as long as they could until they had to release them. There are a ton of great movies coming out right now. And I feel like every week there's another great game coming.
Yeah.
By the time this episode releases, Kena will have come out, which is another game that I'm very curious to play, but I will beat Death's Door before getting that game. Diablo 2, the remaster will be out, which is another game my brother messaged me about, and if he gets into it, that'd be a fun one to play together.
Yeah.
Are there any games on the horizon that you're waiting for?
That's a really good question, actually. I don't know. I feel like I need to take a longer look at it. Didn't we take a draft on the Mushroom Club about the games coming up that we looked at?
I think we did, but
It was a while back now.
I think it was a while back, and it was at the end of last year, and we had some predictions as well, and one of them was that none of the Blizzard games that had been announced would actually end up coming out this year, and I'm pretty sure we were right.
I love being right.
I know.
But yeah, no, there are so many games that I do want to play. I just gotta spend gotta hunker down and maybe make a schedule out, because you're right. There's been so many postponements.
Yes.
It's really hard to tell. And we're talking, good example of the movies and stuff is like, that came out last weekend. Oh,
Yes.
I didn't even, oh my God, I need to go watch it, kind of thing. So, it's tough right now. You really have to stay on the pulse of what's going on.
Well, so what are you doing then? Is there any new movies, TV shows that have come out?
Sure. I saw Shang-Chi.
Oh, how did you like it? I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I wanted to, but if you're unaware, we're recording this from Toronto, and the Toronto International Film Festival was going on for the past couple of weeks. I went to go see it and found out that the theater was closed to anyone who's not a member of Toronto International Film Festival, so I couldn't see it.
That theater, they do shut down for TIFF. Did you go to another theater, though?
No.
We're a small town, obviously. There's only one theater in this town.
A real small town. There's one gas station, which doubles as a movie theater. And the only way to watch a movie is if you fill up with gas.
Yeah, exactly. You get a free ticket with the price of gas.
Price of gas, exactly.
I saw Shang-Chi. I really desperately want to talk about it on this podcast, probably on the Mushroom Club, to be honest. Our patreon.com/retrograde podcast.
Yes.
$5 a month.
Which, by the way, I don't know what's happening, but a lot of people are reaching out to us and joining. Like, the community is absolutely growing there.
I don't know what's happening.
Well, it was
where you're starting
stagnant
with?
for a while, and then all of a sudden, I guess we've been pumping it a lot for September, but we've had a lot of people reaching out and joining us. So thanks.
So thank you so much. But like Shang-Chi coming out is like a great example of an episode we would absolutely do.
Yes.
Mike and I would go watch it together. We come back, record, we talk about it, and then we want to hear your thoughts on what you thought about the movie. I think there are really successful moments of Shang-Chi. I think there are some tired moments of just Marvel movies in general that I don't really throw at its feet, but I just think it's the movie as the movie genre as a whole that kind of gets a little tired near the end.
Yeah.
But there are like moments where I was like, I actually at one point I watched it with my player one, and there was one scene very early on in the movie where I leaned over to her and went, "Holy shit!"
Oh, really?
And she's like, "I know." I'm like, "It's legitimately one of the best fight scenes in all of Marvel history."
That's
like
amazing.
incredible.
I mean, it's. I remember when Endgame ended, I had this moment of realization. I think it was probably at Tony Stark's funeral or something like that, where I'm like, I care so much about these characters.
Yeah.
When someone says like, "Oh, you like Marvel movies," or you like superhero movies, I'm like, I guess you can say that, but it isn't just that as a blanket statement. I like the movies with these characters because I've grown to love them, and I was worried that in the coming years, I just couldn't possibly take to a new roster of superheroes the way that I did to the original Marvel Cinematic Universe in the Endgame saga.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see Shang-Chi. I think I need to just get over it. I haven't even seen Black Widow yet.
Right, I haven't either.
But I did see Loki, and I did see Captain Falcon, WandaVision, and those were great.
Yeah, those are great.
So I'm just, day one, I'm absolutely going to be seeing Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
God.
I don't know what it is about these new ones. I think I need to get over it because I'm sure they're great.
Yeah, this one especially was something that they were very careful to do, and there's a lot of going back through their history, even the MCU history, like the movie history, and rewriting stuff of going well, we weren't good about this. So
you mean in terms of race relations?
The fact that Mandarin is played by Ben Kingsley in Iron Man 2. And it's like that kind of stuff where it's like, and they do actually, I will say, they write themselves out of a hole very creatively. It's really, I'm not going to say more than that. I'm going to ruin everything. But it's just like, they do a good job of explaining away some of the mistakes they made.
Is it that Ben Kingsley, he does love the Mandarin?
He does.
Yeah.
The Mandarin, the Mandarin, the local chain of Chinese restaurants?
Is that local?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
There's like 5 of them.
I feel so bad for the rest of the world for
It's
not
like
being able
it's
to
a
go
buffet
there.
restaurant.
Yeah,
and they're
it's
popular.
fantastic.
Yeah, they're huge.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
huge. They're like dining halls. So yeah, and they have a very catchy, little jingle. Mandarin. You like it? It's pretty good, right? So Shang-Chi's really good. The other one I want to talk about is Only Murders in the Building.
Okay.
It's a show on Disney Plus right now, or Hulu in the States, Disney Plus in Canada. And it is starring Steve Martin and Martin Short and Selena Gomez. And
Whoa,
it's about...
wait, what? How do I not know about this?
You fucking live under a rock and you have 12 games crushing your skull at any time.
My name is Patrick. I do live under a rock. My best friend is a sponge.
Oh, it's for the OGs out
And
there.
there's a squid who fucking hates me in my neighborhood.
Guy's such a piece of shit.
He's such a piece of shit. Actually, can we talk about that?
Sure.
Squidward is not a piece of shit. SpongeBob is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Squidward is just trying to live his life in peace.
Yes, he is very clearly has his own set
Yes.
of wants and needs.
Yes.
And everyone is just throwing themselves and just mixing it up on him.
I agree.
And he hates it.
I think he's
Do you
vilified
relate to Squidward a lot?
all the
now
time.
that I just said it out loud?
All the time.
Wow, I just
You're
see it.
here right now. How do
Yeah.
you think that makes me feel?
Am I Patrick?
Sorry, go on. Only Murders in the
Only
Building.
Murders in the Building, Hulu show, Disney Plus Canada. And it's, kind of relatable to this and a very of the moment show, which you wouldn't expect from 2 70-year-old men.
Yeah.
But it's about a podcast. So it's about these 3 people. I'm going to try not to do
Sounds
too.
awful.
It's just,
Who listens to those anymore?
God, the elevated status they think they have is unbelievable. The heads can't fit through a doorway. It's one of those ones where I don't want to ruin too much because it is a whodunit at the end of the day.
Okay.
But these 3 people who have lived very different lives listen to the same podcast, which is essentially Serial.
Okay.
And it's hosted by, oh man, what's her name? I'll think about it in a second, but it's played by Tina Fey, who
Oh.
shows up in brief moments. But it's and it's about like a murder podcast they all listen to, and they were like huge fans, and they're kind of orchestrating. For some reason, they all find out in this like long-standing New York building they all live in that they were all fans of the same thing. A murder happens in their own building, and they're like, we're going to start a podcast and discover who did it.
Amazing.
Yes.
What a great premise. And you tell me that Steve Martin and Martin Short, 2 of my favorite human beings of all time.
And also best friends, so they love just like being a. Oh, also, have I told you Martin Short plays a failed theater director, which is just about maybe my favorite thing in the world. He's just over the top all the time, walking
It
around.
gives
You're
him an
like,
excuse to be whatever he wants to be.
He's just phenomenal. And I thought Selena Gomez would be bad, but it's actually really important, the story that they tell with her later on. So I actually just love it.
Is she playing herself?
Yeah, she's playing herself.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I would like it if this was Steve Martin as Steve Martin. Martin Short is Martin Short.
I would love that show.
And then Selena Gomez is Selena Gomez, but Tina Fey is not playing herself.
No, no.
And no one knows who she is, but they talk about someone named Tina Fey and they love her.
It's an Ocean's 12 situation.
Yes, with Julia Roberts.
Yes, with Julia Roberts.
Yeah,
So Julia
yeah.
Roberts exists in this world, but it's not Julia Roberts.
Which is what a great premise. I love that. That was so much fun.
That movie is underrated, by the way.
Ocean's 12?
12?
Yeah.
It is actually pretty good. I just think people were like, I want Ocean's 11. And then they gave you that. And you're like, not that. I want Ocean's 11.
I liked Ocean's 13 because the bad guy did capoeira.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was cool.
Man, that whole thing, maybe that's a mushroom club out there. Because I think those movies are kind of weirdly underrated now.
Yeah.
11's like a Stone Cold classic.
Yes.
And 12 is actually much better than people give it credit for.
I'd be interested to see that.
Yeah, there you go.
So is
Okay.
this show's good though? It's worth watching.
I have loved the show. I've watched 5 episodes in. It's now coming out weekly. And it's like, not only is it like fun for the hijinks and the development of their podcast and things like that, the actual whodunit nature of this, and every episode there's like a twist where you're like, whoa, okay. And it's first of all, I love whodunits.
Yes.
And there should be more whodunits out there. And the fact that they're making like 12 Knives Out now, I'm like, yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Is my favorite ones are when at the end of the episode, you turn to the person watching to, or somebody's watching, you text them and you look at them and go like, so if she was there, then how did you, and you try and figure it out in your
that's
head.
amazing.
I love when
that.
people do
I
that.
love that.
And you're entertained the whole time. So it's fun.
Why don't they call them Who Did It? Who did it?
Who did it?
Who did it?
Who done it? Who did it? There is probably some historical significance of why it's called whodunits, and I don't know. If you know,
That's because every like the 50s were just throw shit.
man,
Who
we
done
just
it?
we just keep saying the 50s. It's like flatly, like that's the decade we go to. Like I don't know, it's old. The 50s,
It's the 50s.
post-war.
It's the 50s post-war.
Yeah.
I remember though in watching shows like Boardwalk Empire.
Yes.
And it's like there'd be a car accident and they drive away and they never get caught. It would just be a regular hit and run. Just like the game we're playing today. The Simpsons hit and run.
What about Boardwalk Empire?
Well, there's cars in it. It's in the 50s.
There's cars in Boardwalk. Oh, okay. That's
And-
a famous car show.
Well,
Boardwalk Empire.
Well, listen, I had to create a diversion. I had to make you think I wasn't going into the segue.
Right.
So I purposely overcomplicated it so that I could claw my way back.
You know what Fast and Furious, when they go to that race the first time, and it's called Race Wars? What's that all about? And it's like, what's going on? Huh?
Lots of hit and runs in that
Tons of
movie,
hit and runs.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious 5, where they're just driving through the streets of Brazil. Imagine how many people, thousands of people died.
Well, that's like I remember we on the last week's episode randomly we're talking about Siskel and Ebert.
Yes.
And I brought up Ebert and Roper, a show that I used to watch where they would review movies, and I remember they were reviewing Bad Boys 2, and they specifically focused on the scene where they're driving Hummers down the favelas in Brazil,
Just running them through them.
running through them.
Yeah.
And Ebert said, like, there are thousands of people dying, and this is supposed to be a comedy. And in my little kid mind, I was like, "Fuck you!" But it makes a ton of sense. You gotta be.
We're killing these incredibly poor people. We're destroying the only thing they have, which is this house in the favelas.
Yeah.
I know. But you know what?
But now they'll get something even better.
The
Chance to meet Martin Lawrence.
Blue Streaks, Martin Lawrence is here shooting in our favela today.
Blue Streaks, Martin Lawrence left a red streak of my aunt's innards all over my favela.
This is worth it. I like this. Yes. Did you get the criminal? Oh, it's fake. Okay.
Good.
Good. This is a good day for me.
Well, listen, it hopefully will be a good day for us as we play the Simpsons Hit and Run. As I mentioned, potentially the best Simpsons game.
Well, we've been building
out
up to
there.
this, right?
We have been building up for this.
Yeah.
When we decided to do #Simptember, and first of all, we've had a ton of participation from the community. I would say overall, maybe our most successful theme month.
I would say, I'd probably say so.
Yeah, and you know, we took recommendations on some games to play, but we said that we had 2 of those weeks set, and one of those was Virtual Springfield, which we did week 1 because it was a game that you and I desperately wanted to go back to, and the other one was Simpsons Hit and Run because we wanted to give the Simpsons their fairest shake of potentially good video games.
Right.
And this is a game that I played as a kid. I 100%ed this game.
Whoa.
Like, this is not a game that I just picked up for the weekend. I fucking loved this game. And I mentioned a few weeks ago, I think I was using Simpsons Road Rage as the name of this game, and I realized that I'm not alone in often getting those 2 games mixed up. But there's a reason for that. So this game, Simpsons Hit and Run, was made by Radical Entertainment. It came out in 2003.
Right.
In 2001, Radical Entertainment made the Simpsons Road Rage.
Whoa.
So it was made by the same company. They purposely wanted to differentiate a little bit and go more that open world style. 2 years later in Simpsons Hit and Run. The interesting bit of information that I brought up on the podcast last time I mentioned Road Rage.
This better be interesting.
It's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Is they got sued
Okay. Yes.
by Sega.
Yes.
Because Road Rage is essentially the Crazy Taxi clone.
Yes.
And Sega, for some reason, patented the idea of Crazy which it just makes so little sense that you're allowed to do that.
There are so many things though that you can trademark, and it's absurd.
Yeah.
Like there is, I think it was the Budweiser one where the opening of a beer sound like was something that they trademarked for commercials. And you're like how are you allowed that? Oh, the MGM lion. That's like the lion noise like that. That's like a, and you're like,
that one makes sense though because it's a seal and it's iconic and that very
it's a
specific
lion, not a
one.
seal. What are you talking about?
It's a loose seal. I love that. There's always that person at the party who has nothing to say.
Yeah.
So out of nowhere, they're like, you know, the MGM lion is actually a sea lion.
Yes, exactly.
Like, shut up.
Yeah,
Everyone
thanks,
knows that.
man.
At this
Yeah,
point.
I got it. Yeah. Cool.
No, so they purposely wanted to trade it off. I guess they succeeded in appeasing the Simpsons overlords and allowing them to have another license to make another game because Road Rage was not greatly received, but as far as a licensed property goes, its reception was okay. And it sold well. And that's all you really want as a licensed property is the proof that you're not going to really fuck around with the
fuck around and
source
find
material.
out. Yeah.
Fuck around and find out. Get clapped real quick.
Yeah. Somebody you don't see anyone coming. You're like, all of a sudden you're like, here we go. You're like, oh, fuck me. Beat you with the tire iron.
Here's a question I have though, because you know The Simpsons better than I do.
Thank you.
When did the series start?
1989? 88?
88 or 89?
Yeah.
So this game came out in 2003.
Yeah.
It was the 22nd Simpsons game.
Holy shit.
How is that possible? That's insane.
So they're pumping out 2 a year.
2 a year, basically.
Wow.
And it makes sense because when we were looking at games to do, we're like, when you proposed, you're like, what if we do a Simpsons month? And I was like, Andrew, shut up.
This
Be
is
quiet for 3 minutes.
Yeah. You were in your thinking chair.
I was in my thinking chair.
Your little cognac, your smoking jacket.
Yes.
Which is, of course, your mask memorabilia jacket.
Somebody stop me.
Yeah, it says crew on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you said that, we were like, are we going to have enough games to be able to do?
Yes, that was a
And
real
it
thought.
turns out we still have 18 more if we wanted to. So actually more than that, because there have been more games.
We'll see you next September, everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Even though we've had some other ideas for what to do next September. Yeah.
God, yeah. If you have more ideas for themes, I would love to hear what you think could be a retrograde theme month. We will be rolling into another one very soon.
Oh yeah.
So
well, we'll give you a hint. The second scariest month of the year is coming up.
It's for the rest of 2021. This is the scariest month. In 2022,
yeah.
competition.
Competition gets real amped up to 11.
We've talked about some stuff for October. We can just say it, right?
Yeah.
It's hashtag retrograde.
it's
We've done
retrograde.
it every year.
Yeah.
It's scary games for a month.
I love it.
Yeah, it's easily. You know what? It's so funny. Simptember has been so popular. People love watching us get scared and yell and scream into microphones and now into cameras, which is now even more terrifying for different reasons. Not like ghost terrifying, but like social terrifying.
Socially, ghosts are very scary. Whenever I'm at a party and then you're just like sitting there, deep conversations. I can't believe they ended Breaking Bad like that. And you're just deep 6-7 people. You're holding court. Jesse Pinkman, underrated actor.
Yeah.
Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
You get a tap on your shoulder.
Oh, no.
And you're like, excuse me 1 minute, Kourtney Kardashian.
Oh, my God.
And you turn.
You're telling Kourtney Kardashian that?
Yeah.
She didn't know
it's
how
the whole family.
She didn't know how Breaking Bad ended.
She saw it. She didn't quite understand the subtleties. So that's what I was trying
Pretty
to
subtle
explain
show.
to her.
Yeah.
Very subtle show.
Understood.
You turn around, there's nothing there. And you're like, I guess someone just pranked me or something.
Right. Yeah.
So you continue on. When the gun pops out of the trunk and he's bleeding, you're like, maybe he'll survive.
Yeah. Say my name.
Say my name. I'm the one who knocks.
Yeah.
You get another tap on your shoulder.
Okay.
Like
What happens?
The frick is going on here? I look at Courtney. I'm like, did you see someone behind me? And she's like, no. And then when you stare at it, you can't see it.
Yeah.
Ghost scientifically.
Well, yeah, no, that's
so
science.
in my peripherals, man in a top hat. Just
Lincoln?
Hole in his top hat.
Oh my God. Yes.
It's a ghost, and it scares me so much.
Oh my God, that's very scary.
Because he ruined my opportunity to really curry favor with the Kardashians. And
Yes.
that's
Curry
why,
with a K. Yeah.
That's,
Yeah, great. Yeah. You know why Lincoln showed up? Because you were performing.
Yes.
It's like he died in the theater.
And he said,
I
need more of this.
Yeah, he's like, this is good. I need to see the end of the play.
Isn't it weird that he was killed by a guy named John Wilkes Booth in a booth at a play?
Oh, 100%.
That's pretty weird.
I think it was like a Judas situation where I think from birth he just knew, well, it's my time. I guess
Someone's dying in this booth.
Guess I got to kill Lincoln now.
Yeah, so that's why they can also be socially scary ghosts.
Yeah, I also think it's socially scary when someone ghosts you. That's
That
also
is-
very scary.
That is scary. I live that nightmare every day of my life.
So we'll talk about Retrograde.
Yes, we
It
will.
is coming up next month at the end of Simptember. And we can't wait to explain away some of these games that we got coming up. Oh,
Fucking
boy.
hell. I'm
Oh,
not looking
boy.
forward to it. I was thinking about it. I'm like, I've got some good games that I would love to do on the Retrograde. Nope. I got to shit my pants for a month. That's going to be fun.
And some good guests, too, we're excited to have back.
yeah,
So-
absolutely.
So, okay.
So before we get into that, obviously we have to finish
Yes.
off Simptember. Radical Entertainment, as I mentioned, the company that made this game, you would recognize them. They also made Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
Hey.
A game that we did on this podcast, a game that we felt had a lot more potential
Yes.
and just didn't kind of work, but it was that open world style game.
Yep.
They did the Crash Bandicoot games from 2005 to 2008. And they also made, so not the most famous
I was
ones,
gonna say,
but
okay.
you know, Crash Bandicoot was on the box, and you can't argue that.
Hey. What do you see me? You're arguing? You? No.
No, I see you sitting there complacently.
Yes. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Complicitly, whatever. It's one of those things.
Chomp in the bit.
And they also made Prototype, which was another series of games.
yes.
Canadian company.
Oh, cool.
Radical.ca or radicalentertainment.ca.
Can I ask why so many video game developers are in Canada?
It's got to be tax benefits.
Oh, okay.
I would imagine.
We're a country 1/10 the size of the United
Yes.
States. How is it constantly that they're like, you know what? Got some of the people up here. They got like, really? What?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
NBA, EA Sports big, man.
Yeah.
Rockstar North.
Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto. They've all got studios.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Ubisoft has got a couple
yeah.
good ones. It's because we make good things.
Mm.
We make good people.
Yep.
You and me as
Yep.
an example.
Yeah. And
I don't know a single other example.
Yeah.
Don't put me on the spot here.
Well, that's why we started this podcast.
Yes.
We found the other good one and we're like, let's do it.
Exactly. So they have experience making games that are pretty well received.
Right.
I think working with a license is a little bit different.
That's true.
The story pretty straightforward. I'm gonna tell you what's happening, and I want you to tell me what you think is going to be the ultimate premise.
Okay.
So the Simpsons are noticing weird things going on, weird interferences with TVs, things
Ghosts?
going missing. That would be too scary.
Oh boy.
Lincoln is afoot again. Weird satellite imagery and all this stuff. What's causing all these problems?
Right.
No, I'm asking.
Oh,
you.
you're
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
me? Kang and Kodos.
Exactly.
Yes.
Just an easy premise to go to. That is exactly what it is. It takes place
Hello.
over similar to Deathloop, which I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
There's several different levels. Each level has a different controllable character. Over the course of the game, you play as Homer, Bart, Lisa, Marge, and Apu, which was an interesting choice.
I just love the idea that you play as the 4 core Simpsons members and,
Yes.
of course, the 5th Simpson member.
Yeah.
Apu? Yeah, of course, Apu. Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I didn't continue my sentence because that is implied.
Yes.
It's very much
Oh,
implied.
did you need me to explain that to you?
No. I think you should know.
Yeah,
You should know this.
Exactly.
So one thing that I do remember about this game is that everyone immediately wrote it off as a GTA clone.
Right.
You're walking around Springfield, you're getting in cars, you're driving them around, you're doing the stunts, this and that. It's kind of open world, doing side missions, meeting characters. But I remember it actually doing certain things that I liked more than Grand Theft Auto. The ability to reset your car on the road if you get off road, little things like that. Combat had punching, kicking, and like a slam mechanic. Like GTA, the combat mechanics were atrocious.
Yeah.
And I feel like the fact that it was kind of dialed back a little bit worked in its favor, both because you can't have blood and guts and gore in a Simpsons game, and because it just felt kind of more silly and fun, which works with this. Like GTA notoriously leans into the grit and almost becomes like abrasive at some points.
Oh yeah, it's
we've talked about
incredibly
that.
aggressive.
Yeah, loud and yelling and screaming
Yeah.
and the comedy. Even the comedy is like an angry form of comedy, and it's like
It's a Gallagher sense of humor where
Yes.
it hits you over the head with a
lots
mallet.
of watermelons breaking in that
Lots
game. Lots of watermelons. So they obviously, I mentioned it being a licensed property and them having to dial things back a little bit. So you don't actually rob cars in this game.
Oh.
It's a weird conceit. And it confused me at first because I'd find a car on the street, I'd get into it, the screen would kind of change, like it kind of fades to black, then it goes and you're on the car, in the car. And every time I would see it, I was like, wait, I was Homer.
Yeah.
Marge is driving this car
Oh.
or something. Like, what happened there? You hitchhike. So you get in the car and then end up controlling the person who's driving the car, and that's their way around saying you're robbing.
Okay.
But you can't beat the shit out of pedestrians.
Yeah, exactly. Are the pedestrians characters we know?
Yeah, some of them are. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So you'll see that there a lot of this. You see more of the familiar characters in the side missions. They'll give you some side
Yeah, that
missions
makes
for you to
sense.
do. They had writers from The Simpsons involved in making the game.
Cool.
It seemed like they were very heavily involved in making sure the brand is
brand is strong.
the brand is strong. It's demonstrated. It's kept consistent, which The Simpsons could have done, and they have done a lot of licensing for a lot of different products.
Yes.
But it does seem like in most of these games, they always have a couple writers on staff to like make sure the tone is correct, at least in the games that we've done. Right?
Yeah, I think that's correct. With anything that has been live action, like where they're using the characters' voices and stuff. Yes, because even the commercials and stuff, like Butterfinger or Dr. Pepper or something like that is always both the performer and a couple writers working on it as well.
Yeah.
So they've been, you gotta, I wouldn't say integrity is the correct word because first of all, they're a Fox network thing. And then the second one is they've absolutely shelled out to anyone that would move.
Sure.
And then that's partly why they're so successful too.
I would imagine.
Whatever. But it is cool that, it makes you feel like you're playing something important, or kind of like when we're doing Virtual Springfield or other things. It's an expansion of the world that you already know.
Yeah.
Instead of like a side project.
Yeah, and I feel like this does a similar thing where you can get out and explore Springfield in a way that even in Virtual Springfield, which was the first game that had ever laid out a maneuverable version of the city, in this one, it felt so much more lived in a way that none of the games did. So in a way, it's expanding the universe of The Simpsons. And I know you hate that word universe when you're applying it to a franchise, but it's expanding the franchise and the sensibility. I want to ask you this question as a fan of The Simpsons. Has there ever been anything non-show related, like not the television show
Okay.
itself, that has stacked up to the quality of the show?
The answer has to be no.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's just, the show is so, it's a part of American pop culture at this point that, you know, I think that's how people think Americans are. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's exported that to the world, that like this incredibly funny and incredibly long running show. I think it's impossible. But that being said, the comics are pretty good. I remember even that as a
Are
kid.
there comics?
Oh, Mikey, there are. I'm
didn't
gonna,
know that. Honestly, I
I'm
didn't
gonna
know
say
that.
over 5,000 comics.
Holy shit.
There are so many comics, and I remember reading them as a kid and thinking they're actually pretty funny.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'd give that a shot.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good.
Well, that's kind of Matt Groening's like backstory. He did comics, and that's how it started. And then he was working on, I think, comedic panels
Oh.
with Life in Hell, and then that's how it got into The Simpsons. Because
Ah.
they were originally shorts on the. I can't believe we're never
I want
talked
to.
about.
I want to eat those shorts.
Oh no, come on! Don't have a cow, man. On the Tracy Ullman show, they were just shorts, like interstitials in between
Right,
segments, and then that's how it developed into its own show. So
I actually didn't know that. I feel like you may have told me some of the comic thing when we were playing The Simpsons Arcade.
Yeah.
Because I know that he had some references to that
yeah,
in
that
that
bunny,
game.
that like kind of
Yes.
early on, that like kind of weird looking overbite bunny,
Right.
That's Life in Hell,
Oh,
and actually
okay.
some of them are pretty funny.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, like Far Side-esque.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think I've ever read a Far Side comic.
I'm sure you've never read a Far Side comic.
I don't think so.
Are you kidding? Some of them are really good.
Maybe I have.
You never been to like a dentist's office?
I go to the same dentist's office as that bunny with the overbite.
Oh yeah,
He's really good at focusing on the two front teeth.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is
yeah.
it. I got
Yeah.
no other love. No love. Here's one question before we get into a little bit of the reception of the game.
Sure.
Grand Theft Auto as a
Heard of it.
franchise,
Yep.
very successful.
Yeah, very successful.
What's the one thing it's missing?
It's missing Bumblebee Man.
If that's your answer, then Andrew, you're gonna fucking love this game.
Oh boy, I'm so excited. The sixth member of The Simpsons, Bumblebee Man. Yeah.
It's missing coins. You can't collect coins
Oh,
in Grand
that's
Theft Auto.
true.
You can collect coins in this, and I do like that when you get arrested by the cop. I know there's money, but
Yeah, boy, is
collecting
there.
money is not as exciting and fun as collecting coins. I love how gamey this game is.
Yes.
And apparently some of the critics did too. And the people who bought it commercially, this game sold 3 million units. It made it
wow.
on the Greatest Hits Players' Choice and Platinum Hits, which is
Yeah.
Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation's best-selling list. It also won maybe its most coveted award, the Nickelodeon Australian Kids' Choice Award.
Shut up, really?
It won that.
That's a
It took
vaunted
it-
award.
It took it home. Bo Burnham's never won that award.
Dude, fuck you, Bo Burnham. Who are you? You're not the Simpsons hit and run, I'll tell you that. Did they win a surfboard with like a bite out of it? Do you remember those?
Yeah, I do, but
Yeah.
like, what would they sell in Australia? I feel like that's too on the nose.
Yeah, that's actually like
That's
really, really insulting.
That's where the idea came from. It was surfboards, but they just couldn't find them without the bite marks because sharks kept getting to them.
I'm trying to think of like what the opposite would be. It was like something that they would never get, so they find amusing, but is actually kind of quite like damaging.
It would be an AR-15. That is the answer.
but like painted gold, and they're like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
good.
But I honestly, when I saw Australia, like, I didn't. It sounds weird, but like,
Didn't know his country.
so
that's real?
The Simpsons like Australia,
Well, they did that.
or do Australia like the Simpsons?
Well, not after that very famous episode that came out where the Simpsons go down to Australia because the toilet needs to flush the other way.
Right.
So
right.
I love that when they try and do that and they're like, we're going to go to your country and like lampoon things
Yeah.
that we know about it. Also, like in the early 90s, America was going through like Australian fever.
Yes.
Like Crocodile Dundee come out, Outback Steakhouse. There's like, what was that Energizer guy that was like kind of like a Mad Max Australian character that had come out?
Wow, I don't know.
There's like a bunch of stuff that were like Americans loved Australian culture. And so the Simpsons are like, we're going to go there and like lampoon some of it. And then they do it. And Australians are like, fuck you. Fuck you, buddy. And you're like, man, what up?
You got Mel Gibson.
Yes.
You got shrimps on Barbies.
Right.
You got dingoes eating babies. I mean, what?
Dingoes eating babies, by the way. I brought it up the other
Really
day. It's a terrible story. And let's rhyme that off as a punchline. A dingo took a woman's baby.
And she just matter of fact told the world, and we're not taking away the fact that a mother has lost her daughter,
Her mother lost her daughter.
but she said it funny.
It's like, it is so, this is like such a 2021 thing where we're actually looking back and going, oh my God.
We've done some
We've
shit.
done some shit. Whereas in the 90s, we're like, hey, a dingo ate my baby. You fucking idiot. Like, just loving it.
Throw another baby on the Barbie. But when it comes to Australia, though, I honestly had this in my head, like, is the reason why this game did so well because they didn't get Grand Theft Auto. Like I know they probably eventually did. I know they eventually did, but like Australia notoriously had very hard censorship for their video games. Yeah. And maybe this was just like the closest they could get. It was like Simpsons Hit and Run. That's Grand Theft Auto 4, right? That's,
also, as far as I know, in Australia, you pay a lot of money for a video game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, you imagine.
It costs a lot of money to ship to that island.
Yeah, it's an island. What do you want me to do? Put it all on the freighter. Here we go. Like, you know what? I'm going to spend my $120 or something absurd for Simpsons Hit and Run.
That's crazy.
And you know what? Because I saw it on the VMAs. So, you know.
The Nickelodeon Awards.
Yeah, the Nickelodeon Awards. Sorry, that's what I meant.
It was just, I remember those awards very well. The year was 2003. Slime was flowing like gold.
There's slime in them hills. Okay.
So we'll get into the quick reception. 82% overall on Metacritic. EGM gave it a 7.17. Game Informer gave it an 8.5. GamePro gave it a 4. IGN gave it an 8. And I think most insultingly, Entertainment Weekly gave it a B. Like, who told Entertainment Weekly they could give anyone anything less than an A+?
Yeah.
You're Entertainment Weekly. Do you want me to review you?
The page before, stars are just like us. Flip the page. Simpsons Hit and Run video game. Page after, botched plastic surgery. Okay, first of all, that's the NBA on NBC. And I think... That's so sad because I was literally thinking about the Entertainment Tonight theme song and I'm like, wait, Entertainment Weekly and Entertainment Tonight are not the same thing.
Are they not the same thing?
No, Entertainment Weekly is like a magazine, EW.
I thought
it's like People.
Entertainment Tonight would have been like an expansion of Entertainment Weekly.
Now I can only hear NBA on TSN or NBC on my head. Jesus Christ. God, I had it earlier.
The only other song I in my mind can go to is the what was that soap opera that used that? Was it Young and the Restless?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't do too many more bars. I won't get sued.
I don't want to get sued. You're like the only ones I can think of. I'm like, da-na-na-na. I don't like, what else? Where else are we going here?
That's about it.
I could do theme songs all day. All right.
It's interesting though. We talked about how in the early 90s or so, video game reviews seem to be all over the place. This one, pretty like the scattering of overall awards are pretty tightly packed.
Yeah.
In a way that I think says that it's a good game. And I remember absolutely loving it. Now, usually what we do is we rate and review the game as we remembered it back when we first played it, when it first came out. This would have been 2003. But you don't have experience playing this game. I played it and I absolutely fucking loved it. This game was no joke to me. I took it very seriously.
This Simpsons was no joke to me.
It was no joke to me.
You sitting there, stern face, just watching the game going, that's very funny. And just moving on. Like, oh, Jesus.
Mikey needs help. But because you don't have the experience playing it, what we're going to do is we're going to break now. We're going to play the game. We're going to play you some of that audio or video if you're watching over at YouTube. And hey, if you're someone who's been listening to this podcast for the past 3 years and you haven't checked us out on YouTube yet, go over there and do it. Search us. It's very easy to find us, or hit us up on one of our social media handles at Retrograde Mikey, at Retrograde Andy, at Retrograde Pod. We've got all the links there. Make sure to subscribe, like a video or two. We're trying to grow that channel as well. I don't know if you agree with me, Andrew, but I think the video adds quite a bit to it. It's just it's a lot of fun, especially when we get into the gameplay. We've got the whole full screen going. Yeah. Tom Momola made a really good recommendation that we make the, rather than having our faces bigger than the game itself, maybe we focus on the gameplay for that. I guess we will.
Yeah, but if you want to see how, like, what we're playing and like the actual game that we're playing at the same time, I thought that was really cool. So
let's do it.
Yeah, go over to YouTube.
So we'll break, we'll play the game, and we'll see you guys on your other side.
Love it.
Andrew, bye, everybody.
Bye, Dr. Mikey.
Ahoy, hoy. That was pretty good.
Good. We're getting better at this. We'll be ready for week 5 of the Simptember. Do you think they're going to take a crack at the opening again?
I mean, what Simpsons game wouldn't?
Pretty much every game we've done so far has tried.
They all should.
It's in their contract.
It's in the game.
Very good.
Thanks, man. I wonder if it'll say it's a Disney property, Fox Interactive.
I'm going to go with no.
You were right.
We haven't seen that yet.
Wow, at the beginning.
Oh, wow. Well, this game obviously 0 out of 4. It doesn't know the order.
Not at all. Oh, here
Yeah.
you go. The clouds. Oh, Kang and Kodos.
Wait, are these
Bees?
graphics actually good?
No, this game does have good graphics. I'm serious. I mean, not so much like that, but
Ooh, an ominous Simpsons opening.
yeah, it's weird. I wonder if they couldn't get the rights or something like that.
This looks so good.
Doesn't it?
Like even the little stuff like the cartoon with Itchy and Scratchy and the loading screen and then the wow.
And I will say this is not the remastered version that
there's a
that
remastered version.
was made in Unreal Engine. Did you hear
Okay,
about that?
no, I didn't.
Someone made it.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Okay, so the action button is Y.
Is it always been a convertible?
No,
Okay.
this is weird to me. It shouldn't be a convertible. We're talking about Homer's car.
Yeah, Homer's car.
The driving and everything honestly feels pretty good.
If it just meets Grand Theft, oh my God! So you pulled in front of that other car and it swerved so hard it hit a tree.
Yes. No one fucks with Homer Simpson. The Cola Caper. Go to the Quickie Mart and purchase some ice cream and cola. A great option for just a training
Absolutely,
thing, right?
Makes
Just-
total sense.
Just get me in there.
Also gets you to like a place you know.
Yes.
I wonder where they think the Quickie Mart is in relation to.
The
Oh, they
Simpsons
have the
house.
Bush's house across the street. That is so cool.
What's the Bush's house?
Like the George Bush's house because they moved in.
Oh,
Whoa, and you never see that side of the street because you never see it from the angle. Jesus.
oh, you can see all the cars swerving out of the way when you get too close.
Oh, that is amazing. So
You know what's good is like, you know how in Grand Theft Auto you have just like stereotypical people just yelling things at you when you go by?
Yeah.
In this, it's nice because you have like all those voice lines you get are like Simpsons actors
yeah.
saying Simpsons shit.
Oh my God, and even the little advertisements and
I love senselessly pushing things.
senselessly pushing.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Okay, so I
and
just-
the garden at the top of the Quickie Mart because of the Lisa Vegetarian
That's
episode.
amazing. With Paul
my-
McCartney.
With Paul McCartney. Oh, that's incredible.
So we just hit a little contraption.
So I
There's
think you
there's
gotta
bee
attack
up
that
here.
thing.
It got us on
Yeah.
top of the Quickie Mart. And on top of the Quickie Mart, we've got coins. Coins everywhere.
Who needs the Quickie Mart? I do.
Homer Casual. You
Oh,
my
look,
God. you got
king-size
the
Homer.
King-size Homer. So we're looking at all the different
Oh.
Homers that you can buy little costumes. It's fucking perfect. Andrew, are you going to
Am I going to go buy this game right now? Hey, everyone, shut up. Let's stop doing this podcast. I want to play for the next little bit. Everyone get out. I need to be alone. So now I go home, right? And so it's the
Go
same.
home, Andrew. You're drunk.
Is it the same controls as Grand Theft Auto? Yeah, okay. So the
I'm pretty
trigger
sure,
is
yeah. I remapped
gas.
it based on what felt okay. Handbrake is X.
Okay.
There you go. Look at Andrew speeding around Springfield.
Isn't
this your dream come
this is
true?
all I've ever wanted to do. Okay, everyone needs to chill out. Everyone needs to relax.
It sounds like Danny Elfman, but it's not Danny Elfman.
Oh, it isn't?
No.
Who is it?
Just some no-name piece of shit.
Okay, raise Principal Skinner to the school and give Lisa her science project.
Oh.
Sweet.
It's a good... You know what would be so fun in the writer's room? Is just going around like, how can we make up mission types?
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Like this one, Lisa Simpson forgot her science project.
Yeah.
So you have to beat Principal Skinner to school
Oh, there he is.
so that she doesn't get a fail. It's great.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I have a wedgie.
I have a wedgie. So Andrew's racing behind the yellow
Skinner's
car of
also
Principal
aware that
Skinner.
we're racing?
I don't know. I wonder if you hit him, what happens. But he's driving. He's driving like his mom told him to.
Damn it.
Oh, you're oh. Oh wait. Oh,
What
you
happened?
can reset your thing on the. So if you go too far off track, nice little hairpin turn or 180 turn.
Yeah.
If you go too far off track, it resets you, and that kind of feels nice. So you're not
yes.
never getting too far behind. Principal Skinner took a shortcut through the parking
Lot. It feels like it's the good way of it going like
Rubber banding?
I understand we're a video game.
Yes. There you go. You did it. So back into the Simpsons car. Ooh. Andrew's loving that reverse 180 turn. Eh? That's
this GTA has
that's a
built me for
GTA,
this
yeah,
game.
exactly.
Actually, is this a game like we thought it was gonna be Simpsons Wrestling, but is this the game that has been built for me? Simpsons and GTA.
You know what? That's probably a lot closer to
My
it.
God.
Yeah. I think this game might be. You know what? Remember we played Vice City, and it was so devoid of people that it felt like pointless to play and roam around the city. This feels like there are so few distractions that it would actually be fun to go explore when you choose to do so. It's not like, you know, an open world game nowadays like Assassin's Creed where there are 1,000 different things to do at any given point. This is just like, you got to go find a card, and in order to do so, you have to go explore the Simpsons house, which I'd want to do anyway.
Yeah, like the fact that they...
Homemade football.
The fact that they made all of this stuff like accurate to the show. It just feels incredible.
Homer's exploding barbecue.
Yeah. Oh, the swing set that he can't do.
It's like in the writer's room, they were just like, okay, what has ever happened in The Simpsons? Give us everything because we're going to put it in the game.
You're right. It feels like it's like we watched every episode and we tried to come up with one thing per episode.
Yeah.
I'm all in a dither, Homer. So many of my possessions have disappeared. I called the police to find the culprit.
Culprit, eh?
I feel like I got to go as Ned Flanders for Halloween one day.
You absolutely do.
One day. That day would be October 31st.
I mean, if it was July 2nd, that'd be a little weird.
Flanders stuff. Quick. Think of
Yeah,
it.
you'd
Stick it
crush
out
that.
there.
That'd be
would
so
be great.
funny.
Excuse me, I think I have to go shuck some corn.
What was the name of
the
studio?
bomb shelter.
Oh, the bomb shelter.
Yeah, when they use it for the hurricane that comes in.
Hurricane Nettie.
Okay, so that's actually a combined joke with something else where, oh god, okay, where the kid's on the pommel horse is like, Mrs. Pommel Horse, I'd like to get down now, and she's just hanging from the rings. Oh, God.
You know what this game
I'm getting
needs,
like a
though?
headache. I'm lightheaded here.
Because there's so much going on.
There's so much.
You know what this game needs, though?
What's that?
Is a Ratchet and Clank style thing where the coins come into you.
Yeah, little magnet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lil Magnet's my rap name, by the way.
Yeah. How's it going?
Stick to me and I'll show you 1, 2, 3. I'm counting you out like me and mommy. I'm Lil Magnet hanging on to her knee. I won't escape, baby. It's failure to launch McConaughey. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my God. Holy shit.
Well, that's how it's going.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I don't even want to
I
play
don't
this
even
game
know what
anymore.
to do now. Jesus.
Okay, so I'm finding.
Who are you?
I don't
What
know.
happened there? Did you black out? It's behind you. It's
Oh
behind
shit.
you.
Okay, yeah, I gotta go. I'm not focused on the game because I was. Okay, good. I like the fact that I, unlike a Rockstar game, I don't have to get out of my car to collect something. That always helps.
I am unsettled right now. McConaughey.
Man, so far,
Mikey.
so far we're doing pretty good, huh?
Mikey,
This is not bad.
I cannot.
I'm so glad this is holding up the way I remember because I felt like an idiot for holding this with such high reverence. But it's great.
I am absolutely loving this, and I will say, and we'll talk about it afterwards. But like, I understand this is built for me.
Yes.
So like, take everything I have with a grain of salt. But like, oh my god, this has been fun.
Workplace evaluation with Mr. Smithers.
And it's great too because it's not
My scorpions
difficult.
born. Then where will my scorpions live?
So it's just kind of, you just get to live in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to worry about it. Every so often, like people forget video games can just be fun, and
Yeah.
that's fine. I don't really want to be dying. I want Marge to give me a task. I
Yeah.
want to do it, and I want to fuck up Flanders' mailbox.
Yeah, 100%. I want to live in Springfield, and unlike virtual Springfield, which, like, whatever, at the time, I get it. This is an actual experience because I'm inhabiting a character that has to live the life
Yes,
of
exactly.
somebody who lives in Springfield.
And you're interacting with everything in a way that you don't really in virtual Springfield.
Oh, is he inside?
No,
Oh,
he's
no.
on the corner there.
Oh, he's on the
Typical Lenny, standing on a street corner in the middle of the day.
Please don't tell me how they. Please don't tell people how I live. It's one of the best
Hey,
ones.
Homer, how about a breakfast churro?
No time. Tell me where to find Mr. Smith.
A breakfast churro, by the way, a joke they thought in 2003, and now it's like,
Now
yeah.
it's a real thing.
The number of horrifying foods that The Simpsons came up with
Yes.
that are now real.
Yeah,
If I'm
yeah.
gonna take him out, I wonder if
And
Marge
horrible
still has
presidential
his
choices.
Yeah, Lisa.
To complete the mission, you'll need the Plow King. Purchase it
Ah.
from Barney at the gas station for 150 coins. I do
Yeah.
remember that, buying the different vehicles, and then you can call them up at the phone booth.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool because there are so many cars
Yes.
in Simpsons history. That's also one of like, if you know the crime that's being committed, please press button, and he just mashes it, and it's like, you've selected regicide. If you know which king is being tried to be killed. So this is a little tough because I don't think they've ever
shown the inside of the
yeah.
power plant. Not this area.
Other than the offices.
Yes.
Which I think we're going to...
I know
yeah.
there's a secret tape in there. Oh, wow, some Resident Evil style where as soon as you enter the room, the camera changes. Press action.
Can I sleep with that camera? Oh, sexy girls could be watching me on the internet. Cameras, you should be smashed. I'll destroy you at your power source.
Just a great excuse to get you to go break shit.
There you go.
So I got to drive through and get all the tobacco. Oh my God. Driving through the field,
Nicely done.
pulling an Android 360 or 180.
Andrew 360 was the volume. The second edition of me. Hit and run.
Oh,
well,
shit,
that means
the
the
cops
cops
are
are
off
after you.
me. Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Wow, I don't have much time left. Oh,
You
shit.
got 2 more?
It's not a 2 more, but yes, I do. 15 seconds. Can I do it?
Come on, you can do it, Mikey.
Oh, the cop. Busted.
There you
I
go.
lost 50
But-
coins, but I got the mission.
Completed. That's all that matters. Drive to as clean as his
Oh,
house. Oh my God, we're
shit.
gonna run out of time.
4, 3,
2.
Oh, mission failed.
No.
Oh, well. Well, let's end on an L so we can give this game a W. How about that?
Just like George Bush, how we started it with.
And how he lives across from The Simpsons.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll see you guys on the other side.
See you later.
Ahoy, hoy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Dr. Nick.
Oh, we were doing so well.
Ahoy, hoy.
Welcome back to the Retrograde. With me, as always, Mike Yarenworth, or Evergreen Terraceworth.
Mikey Evergreen Terrenceworth. Yeah.
Yes, very good. Okay. We just played Simpsons Hit and Run, and boy, do we have some stuff to say.
We did some hitting.
Yeah.
We did some running. Well, we didn't realize you could run until towards the end of our gameplay session. But we did some driving as well.
Yeah, boy, did we. Mostly driving.
Mostly driving. I mean, I'll say this. If
Please
when I take my car out for a spin around the block,
Nice.
and I spend more time hitting pedestrians than I do driving.
Yeah.
I don't call that driving.
No.
I call that committing felonies for an hour or so. And that's what we did.
And of all the things we did in that game, and we hit so many people. Broke trees, ran over fire hydrants, the whole thing. When we were harvesting the tobacco plant, that's when the cops were like, no, no, no.
Well, you think, listen, Big Tobacco doesn't care when people die.
No.
Big Tobacco cares when you get in on Big Tobacco's goods.
Yes.
And they got the cops in their pocket.
Yeah, they do. Everyone knows that.
Every politician, every cop in the street protect the interests of the pedophilic corporate elite. And that is how the world works.
What is going on here?
I'm singing Bo Burnham.
Oh. Oh, there we go. Well, Mikey, we played Hit and Run. I guess we should talk about what are your thoughts? How do you feel?
I feel euphoric.
Yeah.
I feel great.
Yeah.
I was listen, how many times do we have a game that we played as kids that we loved for whatever reason, and we just assume it's not going to be as good? Yeah. I think we've come to that now. We assume it's not going to be as good because we've been let down so many times.
Yeah.
But there's something about the overall simplicity about this game. They don't bite off more than they can chew. They take a relatively simple understanding of an open world game. They don't try to add too much more to it. They just let you live in Springfield and explore at your own leisure. Go off the beaten path if you want, but it's not off the beaten path of like, we've hidden a small centimeter-long object on one of the towers in Italy, in Assassin's Creed, and you have to find all 1,000 of them.
Good luck, dickhead.
Exactly. This is like big coins. All the collectibles are enormous. You don't have to go too far off the beaten path. Naturally, exploring the things you want to explore, you're going to come across a lot of these things.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel in line with The Simpsons, with the IP that it is supposed to be doing, that this game is big and brash and over the top and things like that. But, like not over the top of like, I'm trying to think of something that would be like, wouldn't be in line with it. It's comical and it's loud and bright, but it's not, but it's still living in that world.
Yes. Everything that you do in this game, even though you've never seen an episode of The Simpsons where Homer runs around breaking things in the power plant.
Yeah.
It feels very Simpsons-esque.
Yes.
Where they have that touchstone of like, what would make an absurd task Simpsons-y? And it's like, well, if Homer had to break things at his work so that he could fall asleep at his desk guilt-free, that would be a good excuse to get him to kill things or damage things.
Yeah.
And it felt good. The platforming, I can't believe I'm saying this, didn't feel bad. It felt a little inconsequential, but it wasn't unenjoyable, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, I remember when we were playing Simpsons Wrestling, just existing in that world felt like
tiring.
nothing.
Yeah.
It just felt like I'm pressing buttons. I'm not getting any rewards out of this.
Right.
At least in The Simpsons, like the level we're talking about that had the platforming, you're in the power plant. The power plant is basically a bare, empty room with some girders and some sliding things, vents that'll jump you up in the air. So it's a boring environment. But as you're going through it, Homer is spewing off lines that you recognize from the show and making references to things that you would have seen if you're a fan of The Simpsons, and that's rewarding in and of itself.
Yeah, I think that's, kind of piggybacking on what you said, is like, it is so dense with references.
Yes.
This is so clearly a game.
You were bleeding from the eyes.
I couldn't, I was like, one of those ones where I was trying to play but explaining the game, but at the same time explaining the references, and I was and I just like seizing up.
Yes.
Like I couldn't get it all out at once. And it's just so clearly it's made by people that really enjoy the show.
Yes.
Or know the history of the show and found their favorite references, found their favorite moments, and they tried to put it in this game. It is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. And as a fan, like, that's the part that feel rewarding about this. You know, you want to play more because you want to see what other references you get, what other outfits, what other cars, what other landmarks are you going to see. It's incredible.
It's amazing too that we play Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Yes.
And granted, that's an earlier game. But I'm not sure how much older.
98? 99?
I think it may even be after. Or I'll look that up in a little bit. But that game felt so bereft of environment.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're playing it as a kid, it felt lived in. But I expected going back and playing something like Simpsons Hit and Run, which does not have the pedigree of a Rockstar game. Where they're notorious for just being environmental and having a million things to do at any given point in time.
Yeah,
I guess maybe that came later in their life cycle. But I expected to be let down. But they hit you over the head constantly with references.
Yes.
To a point where I was like, is this going to get exhausting? But it doesn't. If you're there for the right reason, and that reason is I love The Simpsons. Yeah. This is the secret sauce. This is what I was hoping to get when we were playing Virtual Springfield. Yeah. When we were playing even Bart's Nightmare or Simpsons Wrestling. Like, you want there to be this feeling of acknowledgement that the reason why you're there is because you love the source material. Yes. And it's treated so lovingly in this game. Yeah. With a sense of like, rather than the writers saying, we have to use this license and try to find a way to make it fit in a video game. Right. It's almost as though they had the mentality, hey, what if we got to try to make this? What if we got to use the medium of video games to expand on our jokes? Yes. As opposed to trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Yeah. Or a red hole,
which is also, we know, is not square.
That's not square.
Reds cannot be square.
Reds, I've literally never seen a red square. There may be one right beside you on the video there. And also your hat is red and you're a square.
What the fuck?
Huh?
It feels like in this, instead of taking, we have this game, how are we going to fit it to the property we have?
Yes.
It feels like the opposite, where it's just like, how can we complement the thing that we already had?
Exactly. Like, or use it as an excuse to tell jokes you'd never otherwise be able to tell. And it feels like the writers were excited about this, right? As opposed to feeling like, which I imagine they probably do in a lot of the games where there's not that love and attention being put in by the developers. They're like, why am I supposed to be the only one who cares here?
I'm so charmed by this game. Yeah. Like, it really, it's more than like, we do some stuff about, controls are always a big thing, cameras, graphics, things like that. You just were in the world. I can't believe this game is 18 years old. Yeah. And you're like, I want to go back to it.
And you brought up the controls. I can't believe it. They're good. Like the driving felt good in this game. Yep. The cars gave you a different weight. They all had different interactions. If you had a heavier car, it turns worse, but doesn't get bumped off the road by the smaller cars. The idea of unlocking new costumes and new cars and then being able to play as different characters in different locations. It's not the longest game. No. So it feels like nothing overstays its welcome. And I remember that as a kid as well. It's like as soon as you start to feel like things are a little bit stale, the scenery shifts and you're somewhere else and someone else, and you get to do a whole new bunch of different things, unlock a new car, drive something different. Like, man, I can't, honestly, as soon as we left, usually I just turn the game off, like I'm done with it.
Yeah.
I saved because like I'm probably going to play this game again, and I probably won't finish it either.
You probably won't. But let's keep that in mind, okay? Okay, Mikey, I think we should get into it because I really want to give some scores to this game.
Let's do it. And now, as a reminder, Andrew didn't play this game back when it first came out. I did play the game, so I am going to be rating it based on my actual memory of the game when I played it back in the day. Andrew is going to be giving it a review based on what he thinks he would have thought about it had he played it in 2003.
Yes.
But obviously, it's going to be made up.
It's
a Fugazi.
It's all Fugazi. It's all make-believe.
It's all make-believe.
It's pretend.
So, Andrew, why don't you make them believe
Okay.
what you think about this game?
Ooh, good. I like it. Mikey, I do not stutter when I say I am going to give this a 4 out of 4.
Yes.
This game was built for me. I'm trying to almost mute my excitement, about how great this game is.
Yeah.
I love GTA,
Yep.
almost in spite of itself sometimes, kind of like how we feel about Rick and Morty.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Where we're like,
exactly.
I like the material. I hate the people around it. But it's so true. This is a game built for me. And unlike when it was Virtual Springfield, where I was desperately like trying to like drink the bottom of an empty glass, where I'm like, it's good. Look at these references.
Exactly.
I like this. This is hitting me over the head with going like, how many references you want? Yeah, we got more than that.
Yes, exactly.
And it's made by people that it felt like if I could make video games, this is kind of a game that I'd want to make.
Yes.
So this is so a 4 out of 4. It's so easy for me as a kid. This would have been everything I would have dreamed of.
I love that. And you know what? I remember when we were doing Virtual Springfield and even Simpsons Wrestling a little bit.
Yeah.
We kept talking. We're like, I know it's not great, but like, it's The Simpsons.
It's The
We're in The
Simpsons,
Simpsons.
yeah.
But I kept trying to remind myself that in the modern day, there are better versions of video games that you can play if all you're looking for are references to The Simpsons. And this is what I was holding out for.
Right.
A
hero.
hero. The hero we needed.
Yeah.
Homer Simpson. Running
Birdman.
over pedestrians.
Yeah.
And I loved this just as much back in the day. I think it was the kind of game that was necessarily fun at a time when the genre was full and video gaming, the medium was full of angst.
Yeah.
I want to actually go through in 2003 before I give my review some of the games that were coming out around that time, because this is just occurring to me now. Tony Hawk's Underground.
Okay.
Was let's take Tony Hawk, let's make it grittier.
Yes.
Right? Prince of Persia. Let's take Prince of
Oh,
Persia.
boy.
Let's add some heavy metal. We're going to make it dark.
Yeah.
Max Payne 2, obviously. Jack 2 took Jack and Daxter and gave it guns. Manhunt came out.
Oh, God.
Ratchet and Clank, Going Commando, say what you will.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 2, an angsty game as it stood. True Crime, Streets of LA, another open world game, but it was like obviously an angry one.
Yeah.
Every game, it seems that you're playing in this era is angry and angsty. And I remember playing this game back in the day and thinking, this is fun. It's light.
Yeah.
It's colorful. It's bright. That rhymed. I didn't mean to do that.
You're on fire today.
But as we can tell, I've been watching Dave, the show about Lil Dicky, so I've got rhymes on the brain. But I loved it. And I'm talking my way around this. I've been stressed out about this because I want to give it a 4.
Yeah.
Because I 100%ed this game.
Well, yeah, right.
And looking at the reviews and knowing that this game wasn't something that's always been in my mind all the time, I hesitated that because, a 4 is obviously as good as we can do. But I also made a commitment to myself. Every other game I've 100%ed, I've given a 4.
Yeah.
And I love this game. I enjoyed every moment of 100%ing it. I'm giving it a 4 out of 4.
Oh, my God, Mikey. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're setting this up. It's a real paper tiger. I'm so afraid. Uh-oh. Okay, so 2 4s. Well, that's easy. That's an 8 out of 8.
It's a real Forza motorsport.
Yeah, it's a Forgazi. Okay, so with our modern day scores,
Yes.
I will start.
Okay.
So whereas previously my score was hypothetical because I didn't play this as a kid, I'm now going to talk about it based on the stupid adult I've become. And not a lot's changed. Because I'm in Arrested Development. I'm in that trapped growth period where this is still the game I want to play.
I know. I can tell. I can see it in your eyes.
I like so badly in my head. And I want to make this incredibly clear instead of wasting my time of telling you what I like about it, which I've already done.
Yes.
I want to say that this is, again, we are reviewers in the loosest sense of the term. These are incredibly partial, whatever the opposite of impartial is. These are based on our opinions and our own interests. The fact that I like GTA, the fact that I like The Simpsons, and these two things were combined for me. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
This is for me. If it's not for you, I totally understand, and I would not argue with this. But I hope and expect you to do the same for me and go, well, it's not a 4 out of 4. I'm like, I know it's not.
I know.
But for me, it is because it doesn't get much better than this. I am not going to run home. I am going to drive home and hit everyone on the way so that I can go play this game again. 4 out of 4.
Amazing. I love hearing that, Andrew. I can't be as high as you are on that. But
Please don't.
I absolutely. I know we can't have this
Please
be the
don't
first
give it to
perfect
16.
game. The first perfect game we've ever had. But I do. I really love playing it. I think that there's something special about the game, and I'm almost embarrassed to have given it such a high score when it's got 80% Metacritic score or something like that.
I know.
But I do think that again, the era in which this game was reviewed, it was the time when we were like, video games have to be art. And if all you are is just a little bit of fun and flash and a licensed property, I can't give you more than an 80% because you don't warrant it. I think that it does warrant it.
Okay.
I think the journalists were cowards. And I think that this game deserves to be looked at as one of the greats, one of the best licensed games ever to have been made.
Interesting.
And I say that there's not a ton of competition out there.
No, that's interesting.
But in terms of something that just uses a licensed property very well, this game's up there. I will be playing this game more.
Yeah.
I can't give it a 4.
No.
But I also don't feel like I need to go lower than a 3.5 because it doesn't try to be more than what it is. It's very simple, and I think right now at a time, just as this game was colorful at a time when everything was going dark, right now all video games are trying to be super in-depth and collectible and have 1,000 things to do at every given time, and this one doesn't, and it didn't try to be, and guess what? That ages it very, very well.
Yeah.
It's a 3.5 out of 4 for me. Holy shit.
Oh my God. This game is getting a 15.5 out of 16. Holy shit.
Oh my God. What does that say about us?
A lot. Fuck you, Shadow of the Colossus.
I know.
Hit and run. Well, Mikey, I know
Holy
one award it's
shit.
going to get.
I do know another. I think we have to let's listen. I hear the oboes playing up. Let's go to the awards ceremony
Lightheaded.
because there are so many awards to give away. We're going to need an extra 20 minutes to do so.
Oh my God. Okay, well, Elliot, I hope you have brought a legal pad or something like that because you got a lot to say here.
Well, before Elliot comes on though, let's let the orchestra warm up.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm sorry. I'm just all discombobulated.
Okay.
You should never get exactly what you want.
Or meet your heroes.
Yeah, which I did both.
And what I want to do is meet my heroes. And I don't know if I want to get that. But let's let the orchestra go.
Okay.
You've been waiting for it all year. The most glamorous award ceremony of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, the Graties.
Oh, wow. Incredible. Yeah.
Always. It's amazing how often we're amazed by the sound of the orchestra warming up.
It's also amazing the orchestra waits around for us to get to them.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like, they're paid by the hour, I guess. So they're like,
Yeah, they're on our dime.
Yeah.
They got that Patreon money.
It's just from you guys right to the orchestra.
It's the only thing we can afford
That's
to do.
it. Yep.
So Elliot, I see you dressed up. You're still in the yellow face. We're still not commenting on it.
I don't like that.
But I do appreciate the effort. Why don't you reach into it? You drove here in the Simpsons
I saw
family
that.
vehicle.
That's pretty cool.
So why don't you reach into that glove compartment, grab that envelope or envelopes, plural, and let us know what this game's won.
Glove compartment. Always glove storage, eh? That's all it is.
It's all you can do. Glove
Just-
storage and awards, because we have the Fits Like an Old Glove Compartment award as well.
That's a good point. Never thought about it like that.
Maybe it'll win it this week.
Oh, maybe.
The Field of Childhood Dreams.
If you play it, they will review it fondly.
And he fits like an old glove compartment.
If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
And the Chevy Silverado Like a Rock Dwayne Johnson & Johnson A Family Company Trophy Hall of Fame trophy.
Oh my God! It's happening! It's happening! Oh, welcome to the most secretive, most exclusive club in all of video gaming.
It's the Stonecutters of the awards.
It really is.
Holy moly.
Oh my God, Mikey, I would love to hear. So that obviously we're talking about our Hall of Fame trophy. I'm not going to say it. You just heard it. And
you can't, what's it called?
I
mean, it's our most important award. You should know what it's called, right?
The
And they just announced it over the loudspeaker. So.
Chevy Silverado, Like a Rock, Dwayne Johnson & Johnson, a family company, Hall of Fame trophy.
Oh, close.
Close. I was close, right?
You were
Yeah.
close. You were
Damn
close. It wins the Chevy Silverado, Like a Rock, Dwayne Johnson & Johnson, a family company trophy, Hall of Fame trophy.
Okay, I see. Okay, I see.
Which is any game that gets a score 14 or higher.
Wow.
It gets the Field of Childhood Dreams, where the retro score is 7 or higher.
Wow.
And it gets the Fits Like an Old Glove compartment, where the current score is above a 7.
I am both so happy and so ashamed.
So I honestly, we're going to have a hard time living this one down.
Yep. People are really going to tell us about this.
Our excuse is the retro score is very subjective. We were kids. We were not critics.
Yes.
We don't really have an excuse for the current score.
The current score is kiss my butt. I love this thing. This is great.
No, it's eat my shorts.
Eat my
I love
shorts.
this thing. Yeah.
Don't have a cow about our scores.
Man, I can't believe how enjoyable that was.
I know.
Some other games
Clean.
that have won the Chevy Silverado, Like a Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Well, it's
Johnson,
not a long list for the Hall of Fame.
No,
I
it's
didn't mean to
not.
cut you off, but like it's not a long list for the Hall of Fame. So it's inducted to a very small,
very small
exclusive membership.
exclusive group. Like we said, smaller and more exclusive than the Stonecutters.
Yep.
Contra 3, somewhat recently,
Yep.
was on that list.
Very fair.
GoldenEye, obviously,
Oh.
another great licensed property.
Wow,
that was
look at
another one
that.
I was thinking. The Last of Us 2, but that's kind of
a
hard
little
one to get
subjective.
on there.
Yeah.
Journey,
Okay.
which very deserving.
It was great.
We had Shadow of the Colossus, which is, I think, the only other score to have gotten a 15.5.
Wow.
So you heard it from us. Shadow of the Colossus, Simpsons Hit and Run,
It's pretty close.
Venn diagram, what's in the middle? Art. It's art.
If you want to play a video game and see the face of God,
This is
this is it. Simpsons Hit and Run.
You see,
From
you want to see the
2003.
5 fingers of God, I think. is
Yes,
what you wanna see in
exactly.
this. Yeah. Holy moly.
Oh, my God.
I'm
Not-
going to lose sleep over this.
I-
But I love it.
I love it.
I don't know why we feel ashamed about it. The game is great.
Not what I was expecting.
Yeah.
In the best way possible.
Exactly.
Wow.
I was expecting maybe a 3. Maybe a 3 in the modern
Oh, I
day.
thought a 3 would have been like, wow, that game actually is pretty good.
Yeah.
Mikey, I am so elated. I can't wait to go play this game, but I'm going to dread the next few days until the episode comes out and then people going, what?
It's going to be, man, especially given some of the bad reviews that we've given to great games.
Yes.
But look, they aged poorly, and we know more than you guys as the listeners.
So this is my problem that your favorite game is crap?
Yeah. Hey, you got a problem with it?
Yeah.
Start your own fucking podcast.
Yeah, how about that?
But don't stop listening to ours.
Yeah, I'll subscribe to yours though.
Rating for rating, review for review.
Yeah.
Follow for follow.
Follow for follow. Yeah, exactly. Except no one ever listens to that.
No.
Man,
Backstabbers. Loved it. Fucking loved it. Andrew.
Simptember.
September was a great month. We have one more thing coming
One more
up this
thing.
month, and we mentioned earlier our patreon.com/the Retrograde Podcast.
Yeah.
It's the Mushroom Club. You can join that. Depending on your currency, it's about $5 to $7 a month.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're from in the world. And it's the last episode so far. Let's recap what we've done for September. We started off with this was pre-September to kind of clue everyone into the fact that we were going to be doing September. Was a watch along with You Only Move Twice, the Simpsons episode, where you queue up the episode, watch it with us, and then we have some commentary during. Before, during, and after.
Yeah.
We had a Simpsons draft where we drafted the 5 Simpsons characters that we would most want to be in a group with if there were a zombie apocalypse.
If there was zombie apocalypse.
Which I don't even know why I had to finish my
it's
sentence.
obviously a natural thing.
Yes.
Like everyone knows that.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. We then did another watch along of the episode Homer at the Bat.
Your
which
favorite
is my
episode.
favorite episode. We did a trivia, which actually got a ton of positive press.
It was a lot of fun.
Andrew, I asked you the questions. I was the very generic white host of a quiz show. I did a great job.
You did
but
such a
you
good
wouldn't
job.
know it was me or anyone else who's ever had that job. And then you could also play along with us.
Yeah.
And then our last episode
That's
of
upcoming,
which is coming out at the end of September for a specific reason.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we planned this. But at the end of September, the last Sunday of September, the season 33 premiere of The Simpsons is starting.
Yes.
And we will be watching that. It won't be a watch along, but we're going to do a kind of a check-in, a Simpsons check-in. What is this show like right now?
Yeah.
I think it's a musical, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a little tough, but that's their decision to make. That's their premiere, whatever. I stopped watching around season 14 probably, and in my mind, like season.
It was getting too old for you at that point?
Oh god. Season 2 to 12 is really like that prime time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, relax.
Yeah.
Is so That's when I enjoyed that television show. I need to parse my words very carefully here. And so after that, now we're on season 33, and you're kind of like, what is the show still? Like, I know I've seen moments where I know that they're like, TV is a flat screen now, and their animation is very different, and they have phones and things like that, which I get, but it's
crazy to picture. I didn't even think about that, but The Simpsons with phones. That's bizarre.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be getting as high a score as Simpsons Hit and Run. I'll tell you that.
I can't imagine it, but hey, our minds are open, and so are our wallets.
Yes, and our hearts are willing.
So are our hands.
Our hands are open.
Because we're asking for you to become a member of the Mushroom Club. Give me money.
Please. It's fun over there. And we're going to have more stuff coming on for Retrograde, and we're going to have Retrograde in October. So thank you so much over at the Retrograde. We appreciate you listening to Simptember, all of September. It was a lot of fun to revisit some of our favorite memories ever. But we got more coming over at the Mushroom Club, and we can't wait to talk to you next month when we do the Retrograde. My name's Andrew Bascom. And with me, as always, is the bad boy of podcasting. I just wanted to make an established line. My name's Andrew Bascom. What do you think, Mikey? My name is Andrew Bascom, and with me, as always, is the bad boy of podcasting, Mr. Bebop himself,
Mikey Aaronworth.
This is the Retrograde Podcast.
September over.
Ahoy, hoy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Simptember. Thank you so much for listening to the Retrograde Podcast.
We look forward to recording this podcast all week long, and we hope you guys look forward to listening to it.
You know how we got into retro video game podcasting? For the money and the babes? We're really in it for the ratings and reviews.
Money is ratings. Reviews are babes.
Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you enjoy podcasts.
For any business inquiries, you can always email the retrogradepodcast@gmail.com.
You can find us on Twitter @RetrogradePod.
And you can find Andrew on Twitter @RetrogradeAndy.
And then Mikey @RetrogradeMikey.
Instagram @The Retrograde Podcast. And remember, find us on Patreon, patreon.com/The Retrograde Podcast for all of your non-essential but very much enjoyable content. We don't ask that you give us much, apart from joining our Patreon. But what we do ask is that you join this community that we've grown. Also, give us some of your blood.
Yeah. I want some of your hair in a bag. Thanks for listening from your two dads.
Furnished by Sad Styles Productions.
Shh. Add up. How did we mess it up again? Oh, that's good. Fuck.